little bit of my gear. Whoa! Harlan! Watch where you place your chair. That's the lesson of the day, I guess. Alright. Welcome to an episode of Matt Stream Outside. Luckily, I'm not too far away from my house, right in the backyard, but this is going to be a new series on the channel. I'll explain more about it in a different clip, but as you can see right now, it's been raining all day. I kind of came out here underprepared to make a few videos. House is not far at all. And, you know, I got to a little standstill with the hard rain, as I don't want to get too cold in the rain. So, if it will focus, I actually just found a leaking seam on the East Hill Outdoors tarp I have for hammock camping. It's the only spot in the seam I see leaking. The tarp did not have this pitch before the rain, but it's starting to sag. So, I looked over here at this stuff and I was like, where'd that come from? Some of what you see is actually on top. It's just a see-through tarp almost, but some of that's on the bottom. And it's leaking out from this section of the seam, but the rest of the seam is actually bone dry. So that's good. Anyways, so this is going to be a new series on the channel. I think I might call it like Base Camp 1 or something like that. This is a spot I've had for a couple of years. It's like really close to the house. You know, I have fires in the winter and do some things here and there. Can pitch a tarp up, a hammock, whatever. And yeah, so if you watched one of my last videos, I made an ultralight shelter. I think it's called something like that. I said part 1, and I am going to have a part 2 of that that's coming soon, but I think I might make this part of the Base Camp 1 series. And I call it Base Camp 1 because I have another one further out. But I think I'm going to try to do like educational and also like out here and weather and like survival things on this Base Camp 1 series. And you know, just a little while ago I filmed a video about protecting your dog's feet in the winter. And this time I'm working on filming a video on starting fires in really wet conditions. So, you know, probably what you're watching right now. So, if the rain lets up, I'm going to go continue getting wood and then show my little survival tip. So walking right behind my shelter to find more wood for the video, something caught my eye. There's part of it right there. Let's take a little look. Yeah, so those are pretty big for sure. See if we can find where they go. I don't know. Little paw tracks right there too, I think, but I'm not sure that those are from a fox. Here are these tracks again. Trying to tell if they're a big buck or a moose, because a moose will usually leave 2 little dots, like a moose track will typically look something like this. You have your little toes or whatever. Just pretend that looks like a deer track for a minute. And then you'll usually have like a circle like that for a moose. And I didn't see any, but they seem like really big deer tracks, and they weren't there yesterday. So, you know, I was trying to see what I could find or figure out. See, one thing making it hard to tell is this set right here. I mean, Looks like those could have been the two little dots. And you know, it's awfully big. It would be a huge buck if they were from a buck. And they seem to come up here. Just can't get any clear, concise indications. Little cave. I don't like walking near little caves like that. That's just me. I don't want to disturb whatever's in there. I should get back to finding wood, but now apparently we're just trying to figure tracks out. So I'm going to get back to finding wood and hopefully we can get a fire going. All right, so this is the best indication I have that must have been a moose. As you can see, the poop is more textured and brown. Deer poop would be a little more black and a little more smooth and a little bit smaller than this. So I'm pretty certain that the animal tracks were from a moose. So anyways, I'm continuing to gather firewood for the episode. So it just about stopped raining and I have my sets of wood. It's all wet wood, by the way, under my tarp. And the key to starting a fire in the wet conditions, you want some sort of reliable igniter. So I'm just going to use a lighter that I have dry. You could use any reliable igniter. And then what you want to do to start the fire, this is what I get last, by the way, is a piece of bark with some birch to put on the piece of bark. Then I like to move to my very small, super small stuff and snap it. It should be dead and dry. Well, or wet. Obviously it's wet, but it should be dead, snap easy, be really tiny, and be really straight. The key to starting a fire in the wet condition is you want to make sure that the wood you gather, for the most part, doesn't have too many curves or branches hanging off it. Then we're going to take a step up to slightly bigger stuff, and slightly bigger, and slightly bigger. And obviously, if you were trying to keep a fire going for a long time, you would keep going. So, you're going to want to have lots of different sizes, and you're going to want more wood than you'd think you'd need. So, let's get to starting the fire and see how it works. We recording now? Been having some malfunctions. Let's try this again. Come on. There we go. That's what we want. Now we're gonna put some stuff over that. And apparently smother it. Take two. Alright. Whoa. Alright. You're going to want way more birch than I originally had shown. You're going to want to hold it and light it from the bottom. If you ever get it lit. I chose a bad lighter, I guess. Warm it up. I chose a bad lighter. Nothing more to say about that one. I'm gonna go get a different lighter. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Make sure you have a good ignition source for this. My other ignition source isn't good. Whether it's a good ferro rod or whatever, make sure it's good. So, alright. Going for another attempt. Alright. Let these attempts be a lesson that you always need more than you think you need. I got some even thinner twigs, another strand of birch. Let's see if we can make anything happen. Birch does not want to light today. Instead, twigs do. We might be getting somewhere now, I hope. Or we might not be. Ah. Yeah, need more thin stuff that I'm running out of. Yeah, I keep messing it up. I give up. Alright, so I'm calling this episode a fail. It's getting dark, my toes are getting cold, and you know, it's alright. I'll try to have another video of this soon. If I wanted to, I could try all night. I don't really feel like it. I want to pick up Base Camp 1 and go edit some videos and get warm. So, cue the thingy. Actually, before I take the tarp down, might be a wise idea to get my stuff. Like these trekking poles. And my stool. I'm gonna leave the backpack there for now. Untie this. Sometimes you just have to know when to call it a loss. Today's one of those days. go. One more end. So, finally picking up and feeling pretty miserable while I do it. Waterlogged cart. Why we are just gonna shove it on one of these outer pockets of my backpack, which is why I love these little outer pockets. Little hangers up. I'm gonna drape them back. It's not a far walk, so grab the chair, shove it in. I'm not even zip up the pack or flip it up, go it in like that. Alright, so this was a fail, but it was still fun. It's Matt again, just making a little outro for the YouTube video. So take this video as an example of what not to do. Luckily, I was in a controlled environment. I didn't think I would need the things that I didn't bring. I ended up needing a few things, like a knife. One thing would have been nice. I didn't gather as much wood as I should have. I didn't bring a good lighter. You know, it was getting dark. My toes were getting cold, my fingers were getting numb. So it was just a good example. Always be prepared. Sometimes in certain situations, you might want to bring more than you think you need. Obviously, backpacking is a little different, but there's also different perspectives on that as well. So thank you for checking out the episode. If anything, hopefully you enjoyed some camera time in the woods. Thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for more videos.